Hello students. So in this session, let's start with kingdom Animalia. So in the previous classes, we have completed about the kingdom Plantae. So from this session, we are going to start with kingdom Animalia. So in this class, we are going to discuss about introduction, habitat, levels of organization, body plan, symmetry, and germinal layers with which these animals are developed. Okay. So in spite of differences in structure and form of different animals, there are fundamental features which are common to various individuals in relation to the arrangement of cells, body symmetry, coelom, digestive tract, circulatory system, excretory system, and reproductive systems. So let's see the habitat. Okay, so habitat of the animals. So are they are of these types. Okay, first of all, they are of two types. They are aquatic and terrestrial. Okay, so in the aquatic, so let's discuss first about the aquatic habitat. So in the aquatic habitat, there are two types of habitats. They are marine and freshwater habitat. Okay, so let's start with marine habitat. Marine habitat. So in this one, we can see there are zones in the marine habitat. That means in the marine water or sea water, we can see the zones. Okay, so first zone is called the pelagic zone. Okay, so this pelagic zone is called as sun sunlight sunlight zone. Okay, or you can see on the water surface or water surface. So this is called the sunlight zone, or which is present on the water surface. So examples of these zones are, this zone is zooplanktons, zooplankton and sea turtles. Sea turtles. Okay. So the next zone is mesopelagic zone. Mesopelagic zone. Or you can you can say minimal sunlight zone. Minimal sunlight zone. Minimal sunlight zone. Okay. So the examples are shrimp, squids, whales, etc. Okay. So next, the third zone is bathypelagic zone. Bathypelagic zone. So this is also called as midnight zone. Examples of this zone or the animals which are present in this zone are bioluminescent fish. Bioluminescent fish or fishes. Okay. So next, coming to the fourth zone of marine habitat is abyssopelagic. Fourth zone is abyssopelagic zone. Abyssopelagic zone. So this is the zone which is present near the freezing temperatures. Near the freezing temperatures. Okay. So the examples of this zone is anglerfish, anglerfish, barrel eye fish, etc. Next, the fifth zone and the last zone is Hedda pelagic zone. Hedda pelagic zone. This is the this is the last zone, and this also called as depth of the ocean. Depth of the ocean. Okay. So the examples with the animals which are present in this zone are sea cucumber and isopods, etc. Okay. So these are the zones which are present in the marine habitat. Okay. So let's see the freshwater habitat zones. Freshwater habitat zones. So freshwater is divided into two types. They are lentic and lotic types. What is lentic? This is the stagnant water. Stagnant water. And in the lotic, this is the streaming water or flowing water. Flowing water. Okay. So the examples of stagnant water is or ponds, lakes, which are stagnant or in still condition. Okay. So in the lotic, that means in flowing water, the examples are rivers, streams. We can see the water is in flowing condition in lotic habitat or lotic zone or type. Okay. So here we can see zones in lentic types. Okay. Lentic types. They are, first one is littoral. Three zones are present in the lentic type or lentic water habitat. Littoral, limnetic and benthic zone. And benthic zone. So let's see them in detail. So coming to the littoral zone. In the littoral zone, this littoral zone which is present near the shoreline, and the organisms present here or the living organisms present in this zone are plants and algae. Plants and algae. Okay. Next. Limnetic zone. Okay. So in this limnetic zone, this limnetic zone is the open water which is away, open water which is away from shoreline. Okay. So it has two parts or it is divided into two parts. They are euphotic and aphotic. Okay, euphotic and aphotic zones. Euphotic zone is completely photosynthetic zone. Photosynthetic zone. And aphotic, the name itself indicates it is the non-photosynthetic zone. Non-photosynthetic zone. Okay. So this photosynthetic zone in which the animals exist are the examples are zooplanktons, and in non-photosynthetic zone, that is the aphotic zone, or we can call it as profundal zone. Okay, profundal zone. And the animals which are present in this zone are only some fishes and decomposers. Some fishes and decomposers. Okay. So this is about the limnatic zone. Next. The third zone is benthic zone. Third zone is benthic zone. So this benthic zone is nothing but the bottom of the water body. Bottom of the water body. And here the organisms or animals which are present are decomposers and detritus bacteria. And detritus bacteria. This is the bottom of the water body in which the dead plants of animals which comes to the bottom of the water body or the zone where decomposers and detritus bacteria feed upon them and they recycle. Okay. Next, coming to the terrestrial ones. So, terrestrial habitat. So, in this terrestrial habitat, you can see the first type is arboreal. Okay. So, this arboreal means the organisms or animals which live on trees. Example is monkeys. Okay. So, the next type in the terrestrial habitat is aerial. Birds are the examples that live in the or they travel in the air. So, we can call them as aerial. Okay. So, next the fossorial. Fossorial. These are the digging animals. Digging animals. And the examples of these animals, fossorial type, are earthworm, rabbits. So these are the digging types. Next, the fourth one is cursorial. These are the fast runners. Fast runners. And the examples are deer and horse. Deer, horse. Okay. Next, the fifth type are sensorial. Fifth type are sensorial. These animals, they crawl on the walls. Okay. Example is, you know this example, these are lizards. Lizards. Okay. So this is, sorry, this is about the habitat of the animals. Okay, some examples are lion, elephants, tigers. All of these are terrestrial animals as we see in our daily life or in forests, okay, or in zoos. These are all terrestrial ones. Okay, next, levels of organization. Levels of organization of animals. Okay, now what is the level of organization? In animals, all are multicellular. In Animalia, all are multicellular, but they do not exhibit same pattern of organization of a cell. Okay, so each and every animal would exhibit a different type of pattern. Okay, so some are protoplasmic, protoplasmic level. So some show protoplasmic level of organization. Okay, so organelles present within the cell and perform functions. So in this one, organelles are present within the cell. Generally, organelles are present within the cell, but in this protoplasmic level, organelles present within the cell, organelles present within the cell, they perform the functions within the cell. They perform functions. Okay, examples of this type are protozoans, amoeba. Okay, next, cellular level or cellular level of organization. In this type, only cells perform different types of functions. That means in protoplasmic level, only a single cell or the organelles present within the cell, they perform the functions. But here, cells directly perform the functions. Okay, cells perform different types of functions. Different types of functions. Okay, so examples are porifera. You know the example, porifera, sponges. Okay, these perform their functions with the help of their cells. Okay, next, tissue level of organization. So in this one, cells arranged into tissues to perform different functions. Example, coelenterata. So here cells are grouped. Cells are grouped into tissues to perform functions. So here tissues perform the different types of functions. Okay, so the examples are coelenterata, coelenterata, ctenophora, okay. So in this one, diploblastic animals. Okay, so these are diploblastic animals. Okay. Which has two germinal layers. Okay. So this is the first key transition in the animal kingdom. So the tissue level of organization which is seen in diploblastic animals is the first key transition of animal kingdom. Next, organ level of organization. Tissues are grouped into organs and they perform the function. Okay, tissues are grouped together to perform the different types of functions. Examples are platyhelminths. These are triploblastic animals. Platyhelminths. These are triploblastic animals. Okay. Now, the last one, organ system level of organization. Here, organs are grouped into organ systems. Organs are grouped into organ systems. Organ systems to perform different types of functions. Okay. And here, each system is concerned with a specific physiological function. Okay. So the examples are chordates. Examples are chordates, Ascomyces, these are the higher triploblastic animals. Higher triploblastic animals. Okay. Next, coming to the body plan. So this is about the levels of organization in animals. Next, coming to the body plan. Okay. So coming to the body plan, the animals which are at cellular level, they aggregate, or the cellular aggregate level are porifera. Are porifera. Okay. So this is the basic one. Here the cells perform different functions. Okay. Next, coming to the blind sac. Cellular aggregate level is one of the body plans which is performed by the porifera. Now coming to the blind sac, this is seen in hydra. This is seen in hydra. Okay. It has an incomplete digestive system. It has incomplete digestive system. Incomplete digestive system. Okay. So here you can see the shape of hydra is somewhat look like this. It has tentacles which are surrounding the mouth. So this is the mouth which has an opening and it has no anus. So there is no anus. Okay. So it has no anus. Only a single opening is present. It is called as blind sac. Okay. This is the body plan of hydra. Next. Next. Tube within tube. Tube within tube. Okay. This is the another body plan of animals. Here, chordates show the complete digestive system. That means here, this is a tube which is present in another tube. Let's draw another time. Okay. Tube within tube. So this is seen in chordates. Let's draw the tube. So you can see this is the large tube, this is the small tube. So this concept is a tube within tube concept. Here you can see two openings. This one is mouth and this one is anus. Okay, so the mouth and anus develops from a blastopore. Mouth and anus, both of these develop from a blastopore. Blastopore. Okay, so in protostomes, in protostomes, the first development or the first development of the cell from the blastopore is mouth. Okay, that means mouth develops from the blastospore. Okay, next to the mouth, anus is developed. In deuterostomes, first anus develops from the blastopore and then mouth. Okay. So this is the body plan which is seen in animals. Next, coming to the circulatory system. Circulatory system. As we all know, the circulatory system is of two types. They are open and closed type of circulatory system. Okay. So in the open type of circulatory system, blood is pumped into an opening area or open area in body is called as hemocoel, and it is seen in arthropods. Okay, which is seen in arthropods. And in closed type of circulatory system, blood is circulated in blood vessels. Blood vessels. Okay, so it is seen in chordates. Okay, which is seen in chordates. Next, coming to the symmetry. Let's start in the next page. Okay. Symmetry. So that is about the circulatory system in animals. And let's see the symmetry. Symmetry is of three types. It is asymmetrical. That means the animals which show symmetry are of three types. They are asymmetrical type of animals. Example is sponges. Next, the radially symmetrical. This asymmetrical means you cannot cut an animal into two equal halves in any plane of its body. Okay, so the example of this is sponges. Next, coming to the radial symmetry, here an organism can be divided into two equal halves in any plane passing through the central axis. Okay, so organism can be cut into two equal halves. In any plane. Passing through the body. Passing through central axis or body. Passing through the central axis. And the example of this are Ctenophora, Echinodermata, and Coelenterata. Okay. Let's see in echinoderms. In larval stages, these echinoderms are bilateral in symmetry, and in adult stages, they show radial symmetry. In larval stages, in larval stages, they show this bilateral symmetry, bilateral symmetry, and in adult stages, these show radial symmetry. Radial symmetry. Okay. Next, the third type is bilateral symmetry. Bilateral symmetry. And this bilateral symmetry is the second key transition in the body plan, animal body plan. And the first key transition is the tissue level of organization. So this is the second key transition. Second key transition. Second key transition in animal body plan. First key transition is, what is the first key transition? Tissue level of organization is the first key transition in the animal body plan. Okay. Next, what is bilateral symmetry? So the organism can be cut into two equal halves in any plane. Okay. Oh, sorry, in only one plane. Sorry, in only one plane, and it is called as bilateral symmetry. Organism can be cut into two equal halves in only one plane from its body or the central axis. Okay. So animal can be cut into two halves in only one plane is called as bilateral symmetry. Okay, bilateral symmetry. And the examples are the annelids, arthropods. Annelids, arthropods. Okay, here there is a key point. After the cephalization, what is cephalization? Formation of head. Okay, you can see in cockroaches, arthropods, annelids. Okay, the cephalization. After the cephalization, that means the formation of head. When you see a cockroach, you can see its head, mouth, or mouth parts. Okay, formation of head. So, formation of head. This symmetry is seen. That means the bilateral symmetry is seen only after the formation of head. That means after the cephalization in animals, this second key transition, which is bilateral symmetry, is seen. Okay. So these animals can sense the environment more efficiently than the others. Okay. These can sense the environment more efficiently than the other animals. Okay. So next, coming to the germinal layers. Germinal layers. Okay. So let's talk about the germinal layers. First of all, the animals are of three types. They are diploblastic. Sorry, two types. They are diploblastic and triploblastic type of organization is seen in animals. Okay. So diploblastic and triploblastic. So the animals which are formed with these germinal layers, in which two germinal layers are the animals in which cells are arranged in two embryonic layers are called as diploblastic, and the animals in which the embryo has three layers are called as triploblastic. Okay. So here, this is the ectoderm. These are the germinal layers actually, and this is the mesoderm. Mesoderm, or you can say mesoglia. Mesoglia, and this one is endoderm, and this is the gut. Okay, so these are the actual germinal layers. Okay, now these diploblastic animals, which are animals in which cells are arranged, cells are arranged in two embryonic layers are called as diploblastic animals. Okay, so these diploblastic animals are divided into two types. They are, two layers. These diploblastic animals have two layers. They are ectoderm and endoderm. Okay, so this ectoderm, which gives rise to epiderm, and endoderm gives rise to gastroderm or gastrodermis. Okay, this epiderm, which is the outer layer of body wall, outer layer of body wall, and this one is the inner layer of body wall. Okay, so both of these constitute the jelly-like layer called mesoglia. Both of these constitute, that means the in between the ectoderm and mesoderm, there is a central layer called mesoglia or mesoderm, which is a jelly-like. Okay, so the both of these constitute a jelly-like layer called mesoglia. And this mesoglia is the term from which the third germinal layer, the mesoderm, is born. Okay, let's see the triploblastic animals. Okay, in this one, animals which have or which develop three embryonic layers. Okay, so it has three embryonic layers, and they are ectoderm, mesoderm, and endoderm. Okay, so these are called as triploblastic animals, and the examples are platyhelminths. Okay, so chordates. All of these are triploblastic animals. Okay, you can see ectoderm, mesoderm, and endoderm, and this is the gut. Okay, so this is about the germinal layers. Okay, so in this session we have discussed about the introduction, symmetry, germinal layers, body plan, levels of organization, and the habitat of the animal kingdom. So in the next session we will discuss about the coelom or body cavity. Okay, so this is the end of the session.